Hello viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's show, Science Thursday, we're going to talk about coal gasification. It has become a hot topic recently in India, so let's dive deep into it. So what's the problem? Well, we have to take a thing that burns and make it into some different thing and burn it again. Well, coal is backbone of our world. And yes, I mean in 2026 and I can guarantee you till 2050. So it's fundamentally used in everything. Even USA was like, but I thought USA went to gas. Yes, they did. But here's the deal. Gas prices fluctuates a lot. So gas supply becomes divided. Basically, gas power plants that are burning gas in USA to make electricity and sell to electricity, they're like, what if I don't sell you? What if I sell it to international market and make more profit? It's like, oh, okay, you can do that. And they're like, okay, take all the old coal and convert that into gas. So at the time when gas prices are basically very high, let them sell abroad. That's good. Allows us to have some grip on things. And at that time, so we do not have deficit. Let's convert low value coal into something useful. So USA has that tactics, so to say, in order to stabilize the pricing. Then you have China, and I have to say, like, you would be shocked how much coal China burns. Like, it is goddamn high. As in, again, India and China both are 1 billion in terms of population, 1 billion plus. Like, third largest country is sub 1 billion, as in give or take 300 to 400 million. Sometimes they say it's maybe 450. Basically, you have to remove 1 billion people from India and 1 billion people from China. Remainder still might be larger than what USA is. So the gap between India and China in terms of coal consumption, it's bonkers. It's not a little bit, it's bonkers. Like, whole world, China alone burns more coal. It is scary. Like 1.8 billion tons annually. That is huge. And here's the deal. All growing nations needs to consume coal for economic prosperity. Because here's the deal. Europe did that. They did that. That's what they have been doing. They did that. So it's they already think in this way. They already built their foundation. They already built the industrial society. So it's much easier for them to switch. Now it's like, yeah, my infrastructure is built. America, again, something similar. Compare that to India, and basically all things that got independence in give or take 75 years time frame is like, we are starting from scratch. We have to start with something that is cheap and abundant. Coal is thankfully abundant, as in it's available most places. More like you go to South Africa, you go to DRC or whatever have you, Chad, you're gonna find coal. Like there is a good chance you're gonna find coal. How much quality, those can vary, but the likelihood of you finding coal is very high. And again, that's the first step. That's the seed that allows you to grow and expand your economy, which later you can switch. So all growing nation, basically Asia Pacific, is burning coal like there is no tomorrow. And again, Africa would also do that, but they have too much corruption. And that's just one thing. Even if you go into these European nations, their steel, cement, carbon black, carbon fiber, and silicon industry, yes, including silicon, they consume bonkers amount of carbon. And if you go 1 or 2 steps below, 99% of the chance the carbon is coming from directly coal. It's just that, oh, I'm buying graphite. It's like, how the heck that graphite was made? Oh, coal. So it's one of those things where it's like, just because there is 1 or 2 steps, it's like, oh, I'm taking carbon black and making into carbon straws. It's like, how the heck you are getting the carbon black? Oh, coal. So fundamentally, let that be very clear. And cement also has like a lot of things that require that specific ingredient. Steel consumes coal like there is no tomorrow. So basically, our world is running on coal, and it has to be there. So translation, you can't count how many sectors use coal because it's almost everything. However, whether you agree with global warming or not, every human that has any level of common sense agrees that it pollutes like there is no tomorrow. Even China hates this. That's how bad it is. Pollution, let that be very clear. I'm not talking about CO2. I'm talking about all other garbage. Basically, this puppy can give you sulfur for free, mercury for extra touch, arsenic for a spice in your life, might even give you uranium. I'm not joking, it literally can evaporate uranium. Again, contamination is low, but you can trace it. Mercury, it gives you for free. It's like, take the mercury, take it and go. Sulfur, take it and go. And NOx, let's not even talk about that. So, because again, these blowers consume bonkers amount of air. Air has bonkers amount of nitrogen. You have idiotically large amount of temperature. Yeah, God help you. So, it is polluting. Like, it pollutes like nothing else is there. And whenever you hear people saying like, you know, natural gas is cleaner, carbon dioxide wise it's not that much cleaner, because fundamentally it has less energy. But while natural gas does have sulfur, while it does have all the contaminants, it's negligible compared to this. So there is a problem. Like, it's a good thing, it's a great thing, every Tom, Dick and Harry uses it or has used it, but we can't keep continue using it because it pollutes the air like there is no tomorrow. So what's the physics? Well, physics is 67% of the coal that is mined is generally poofed to make basically power. However, it is very wasteful. To give you an idea, you take coal, you add oxygen. Now that's the problem. We can't add oxygen. We generally add oxygen plus nitrogen. That gives you carbon dioxide plus water vapor. That's the ideal component. I'm not talking about this carbon dioxide or this water vapor. Ignore that. But the ash and raw heat, you use the raw heat to boil water and run the cycle. However, this is ideal scenario and coal is not ideal. You get a lot of stuff, and because this raw heat is coming from such a long cycle, like a jet engine will fundamentally be more efficient than a steam cycle, because steam cycle has just so many steps. It just has too much steps. Compare that to a jet engine. It's like fuel go, boom, the end. Like done, sir. Whoosh. Like that's all it is. Whoosh. So it will be more efficient. So that creates a scenario where 30-35%, in yes, let that be very clear, if you have bonkers amount of money like Germany, you can build coal power plants that can touch 41%, but yeah, they burn money like there is no tomorrow, like super duper hypercritical steam systems. I'm not joking, the temperatures of water is above 1000. So it's bonkersly expensive. Again, super critical steam, not carbon dioxide, steam. So we figured out there is a cheat code in basically physics, which we call polygeneration. Basically, same amount of coal, let's say one train full of coal went into you, a normal power plant will give you X amount of electricity. That's it, the end. X amount of electricity, Y amount of pollution. While this puppy, gasification, can take the same train of coal, exact same thing, and it will give you a bit more power, X plus 1%, X plus 5%. If you're really good, like you are going Japanese on it, you can go X plus 10%. And yes, you're gonna get far more electricity out of it, and you will also get chemical building blocks which are in sellable format. So that's what we classify as polygeneration. Basically, do all this hassle and you will have a system that gives you more electricity per ton of coal consumed and gives you sellable asset. So power part, how the heck you convert the heat? Well, gas combined system. Basically, you run a jet engine that burns the gas. Voila, that gives you primary system. But thankfully, jet engine exhaust is hot. So you run a steam turbine on it. And that steam turbine gives you extra. It's a combined heat and power system. And voila, that gives you 55% efficiency. And stable chemical yields like phenol, tar, oil. And yes, you can get even almost like a building blocks of crude oil. Not joking, you can get that. You do get that. It's not can. You do get that. But again, the percentage depends on which is the coal index, as in like how pure the coal was, how much contamination the coal had, bitumen coal and all that. Like, so you will get these things, but percentage depends on the input feedstock and more kilowatt hour per ton of coal. So that's the good part. So how the heck that can happen? Go through so much hassle and get more out? It's what we call efficiency leverage. That's the physical cheat code. Like same reason why we have series hybrid drivetrain being more efficient than engine wheels. No, that's inefficient. Why? Engines do not like that. Engine have a very sweet spot. You do it like this, like a jet engine. Whoosh, sweet spot. Engine like to be in sweet. So what we do? Okay, engine stay in the sweet spot, drive the alternator. Alternator drives the basically everything else, and then motor converts it into it. And here this acts as a decoupler. So once you have decoupled the engine, engine remains in your sweet spot and motor handles all the variation. And voila, you get more mileage. And yes, you will get more mileage. I have no idea why Tech Connection messed this part up. But again, he's not an engine guy, so I'm not shocked that he did not know about BSFC. Look into any engine's BSFC chart, not car, engine BSFC chart. And do not compare two cars, so like a American car which is known for being a fuel guzzler versus a very efficient Japanese. It's like, of course, your fuel rating will be wrong. So in physics, it's doable to go through multiple conversion stage and get better leverage out of it. We call efficiency leverage. Basically, if your power plant is only giving you 33%, 55% allows you to recover that loss energy in the conversion process. That's the whole point of a series hybrid also. Physics is clear. It's here, it's done, it's been done from World War II. We know this. Now, like, okay, then why don't we do it everywhere? Yeah, it's expensive AF. Like, you think coal power plant is expensive? This thing makes it coal power plant look like a toy project. It's like, bro, cute. It is, again, look at the plumbing. It is bonkersly expensive. So what about the chemistry? How does it actually happen? Well, you start with coal, and you have to understand what is coal made out of, because it's a solid. It's what we call complex compound, as in it has too many things. So for example, you're gonna find carbon, you're gonna find hydrogen, you're gonna find oxygen, you're gonna find nitrogen, and you're gonna find sulfur. All of these are the primary component, and then you will have extra contamination like arsenic, mercury, things of that nature. So all of these things will give you different things if you mix it with nitrogen, if you mix it with oxygen, and if you have high temperature environment. So we do is we dry these puppies, basically cook it and take care of the ugly volatiles, basically water, moisture and all that. You just cook it. So drying is the first step. Then you pyrolysis it, as in cook it without free oxygen. That allows the long molecular chains to break down. And after that, you do partial combustion. Basically, you burn it, but you don't burn full of it. As in, like, if it requires 100 liters of oxygen per minute, you are like, hey, what if I only give 13 liters? So that's the whole, basically sub-optimum burning you do. And that gives you the heat to do all this process. Because again, drying consumes energy, pyrolysis consumes energy, gasification consumes energy. Where the heck energy is coming from? It's coming from oxidation. Now, this is the critical part. These sort of plant consume oxygen. They do not consume air, they consume oxygen. You have to give them pure oxygen. Okay, how would you do that? It's not practical or economical to have tanker trucks full of oxygen coming and delivery. So generally they run an air compressor, and you can have a membrane based system that separates nitrogen from your system. So you can have nitrogen going in one end and oxygen coming in the other end, and voila, you can have a normal system. Again, it will not be 99.999% purity oxygen, but it would be good enough where it's like, it's good. It's like high 90s, it's good. So you send oxygen and basically high pressure steam. Yes, steam also allows steam reforming. So you send these things, oxidation happens, that provides the energy, and the whole chemical process happens in this tub, so to say, this reactor. Now these things are made out of thick puppies. They are strong, they are high pressure, high temperature resistant vessels, so to say. So you start with on the top, and steam and oxygen goes from the bottom. Now, let me be clear, you could find some older designs, especially World War II designs, that did not had basically what you call oxygen only design. They had like just blow air through it. Will it work? Yes, but it will not give you the clean output. For clean output, you want oxygen input. So basically, you take coal from top, steam and oxygen from the bottom, and that gives you gas as an output. Synth gas. Now, synth gas means it has hydrogen and carbon monoxide. Let that be clear. It does not have hydrocarbon. It's just carbon monoxide and hydrogen, H2. And you can burn them. You can even send them into fuel cell. If you have watched the older video about, like, NASA's Mars rover that is on Mars and is making oxygen, it is using carbon monoxide in reverse, as in like take carbon dioxide and make into carbon monoxide. But what if you have carbon monoxide? You can make into electricity. Basically take carbon monoxide, react it with oxygen, voila, basically oxidize it, burn it, and you will get what we call electricity out of it in a fuel cell. Very high conversion efficiency. So that is being done. Again, will this power plant do that? That's up to them. They might do it, they might not do it. But synth gas is generally considered as a building block. You can send this puppy into a jet engine and burn it. However, not recommended. You can. Again, nothing in physics stopping you, nothing in what you call metal. Hydrogen is not desirable from metal point of view, but you can deal with it. So generally they say, let's cook it further. Synth gas is the foundational. You have already converted coal into gases. Then you can cook it further and voila, you can get whatever you want out of it. And core part is there are heavy elements also in coal. Now these heavy elements, because of this stratification, it generally clumps into rocks and then it falls into the bottom pit. Again, if you have air, you might get ash, but generally you get rocks, stones, and they are stable state. As in, you can use them into road construction, nothing bad will happen. You can build bricks out of it, nothing bad will happen. Basically, it's a stable, it's like a mountain. It's just like a mountain chunk, pebbles. So it's not reactive. So that's the good part. All the heavy contamination that was there, it's taken care of. Now, So far, that's the fundamental access of carbon. What about other things? Well, hydrogen, basically the sulfur that happened, and because this process itself created hydrogen because of the steam, you get hydrogen sulfide. Like, wait a minute, that's a bad thing. Yes, but thankfully it's very reactive, meaning sent this pipeline that has a very high concentration, send it into acid gas removal, and voila. And this is the key. This makes sulfur into a packageable asset. Like, tada, you get sellable sulfur. Be mindful, normal coal power plant also separates out sulfur from the exhaust, but it is not sellable. They have to do some extra step, or some company have to buy it very cheap, because again, they have to do some steps. It's not the states are very messy, so to say. And because here you are not flooding it with nitrogen, the flow is very little, like negligible. The flow is tiny. So your reactor size, which is like scrubbing these things, they are tiny. And mercury and arsenic, they both behave, because they are lighter, what you call molecular, they boil off. So that goes through sponge filters. There is a specific type of activated charcoal filter that removes those puppies. So even that contamination goes down to zero. And then you have ammonia. Yes, because you have gonna have some nitrogen, and the coal itself had nitrogen. In this environment, it generally becomes into ammonia. Super easy to dissolve, super easy to extract, and super easy to sell. So that is there. And hydrogen cyanide. Like, wait a minute, that's naughty. Yeah, that just requires water scrubbers. Super easy, super soluble in water, and super easy to yeet out of there. So again, that's the core essence, because this is what we classify as pre-combustion advantage. If you want to clean something, clean the fuel before you burn it, it's far easier. While we do say that it is illegal to contaminate from a coal power plant, but how sure are you that coal power plants actually are running the scrubber systems effectively? They're maintaining it effectively. Because again, you can go to some places and you just, if the coal power plant is nearby, you will feel ill, because your lungs are like, yeah, I'm dying. So fundamentally, doing all of this early stage, and not to mention, because these things will give you in a what you call isolatable state. I have sulfur, I have ammonia. This allows you to sell these things. It's in your best interest to do it, not to cheat it. And the core advantage generally is that these are storable chemicals, meaning you get this, it's not oh, it's going to evaporate away, or I have to combust it, because again, you generally do not want to store gases. They are not liquid, super easy. You can store as much as you want. Gases, not so much. So burn the gas into the pit, so to say, and voila, you get your energy, and you get a storable chemicals, which again, power plants can easily have a very small trickle cell of it. So customers stay there, but whenever they're like market price is high, ta-da, we have extra stock. So this is the chemistry part of it. Nothing too fancy. However, again, if you dive deeper into how each of these elements are being scrubbed, then it becomes messy. So what's the reality of this? Reality is, this is great technology, but expensive as hell. Again, it was so expensive that even High tried to do this in World War II when they were getting their ass kicked. They're like, yeah, what if we converted a lot of coal reservoirs into useful liquid fuels? Again, start will be the same, coal gasification, and then you're gonna do other things. But primary hurdle with this is, it requires multi-vector management. You are not just managing, like in a coal power plant, you are managing a coal power plant. It's basically the fire temperature, the steam temperature, and pressure and all that, and electrical output. Cool, awesome. Here, it's not that. Like, you have to balance multiple things. Basically, because of the immense amount of heat, you generally want to circulate the heat itself. Basically, if a scrubber requires heat, you want the waste heat to do that. So there are a lot of what you call closed loops that are helping each other, and you cannot have temperature dropping in any one section. You cannot just like, okay, oh, there's an energy spike, let's shut down the chemical part and let's just burn the fuel. Yeah, if you do that, you're gonna get electricity, but your whole chemical plant would be shut down. Restarting will take another process. So it is messy, let that be clear. Like it's not just a normal SCADA system, it is complex. And China operates 70% of world, like how many are there? 70% is in China, commercial gasifier. So what they do? Well, they have been doing it, what we call SNG, synthetic natural gas. Now let that be clear, that is methane. Once you have hydrogen and carbon monoxide, you can convert whatever you have, even carbon dioxide and hydrogen, you can convert that into methane. It's not that hard. Messy, but hard. Let that be very clear. We used to do that from 1700s. That's why like there is a term known as natural gas. We used to take coal, convert them into gases, and use to light stuff. Old, Victorian era Britain, France, and all that. Problem was, that time we did not knew that you can find gas coming from a well, and that was much cleaner, much more efficient. Once we found it, is like, how do you separate these two things? Because both of them had methane, CH4 as their primary component. Then like, oh, this is natural. We did not made it. This is natural. That's why we call it natural gas. So this technically should be town gas or local gas, but they're like, okay, synthetic natural gas. And again, the liquids that you are getting because of the hydrocarbon nature, those become a very good building block for the plastics industry. And these are the primary thing. They also have some other outputs also. Now in India, has a unique vulnerability that our steel is dependent foreign. As in like we are making steel, but the subcomponents that go into that field, as in like the raw cost, so to say, comes up from abroad. So this company, Jindal Steel, this became India's first and world's first that figured out is like, why have metallurgy coal to purify, I would say, iron. Basically, iron is oxides. You need to basically break that marriage. Generally, to break that marriage, you have to put something that is very attractive to oxygen. So oxygen let go of the iron and bonds to this. Basically, you need a divorce agent. So they're like, hey, if we take coal, which we do not like, metallurgical coal is expensive, but normal basic bitch coal, and you convert that into synth gas, that makes hydrogen and carbon monoxide. Both of these puppies are very good redoxing agents, so to say, which we call direct reduction iron, DRI. This puppy does that. So like, hey, instead of importing something, what if we take a garbage coal we have bonkers amount of coal and in all varieties. But if you're running a power plant, you want to run as low quality as possible. So they're like, hey, take the low quality one, make it into synth gas, and voila, you can make what we call sponge iron with much lower cost without import duties. Independence. So that's world's first. And again, half of their basically marketing video is just how many foreign companies are coming there. It's like, okay, wait a minute, you actually did that. Like, paperwork was there. It was there in World War II. It's just that somebody was desperate enough to do it. They did it. And this is from Japan, which went all out. This plant has the world record, like 55% conversion efficiency. That means they have enough margin that all the heating requirement of the gasification process, that penalty can be paid, still you will get more power. Oh, and this is from South Africa. They had an issue with the world where in like 1980s, I would say, 1970s, 60s and 70s was a naughty period. So they're like, okay, every Tom, Dick and Harry is going to block our gas and all this. So what if we take the coal, we have infinite amount of coal, convert that into gas. This plant alone provides 30% of the natural gas, meaning if somebody outside does what you call blockade or something, it will hurt them, but it will not break them. They're like, hey, we can, all the industry that needs this fuel, they will have it. All the hospitals that are running on this, they will run on it. So it's a very big, what you call, independence stage. Although if you really want to fry your brain, try to understand IGCC plant in Fukushima. The name is NAKOSO. Nakosa. This is the whole thing. And yes, it does have fuel cell because again, carbon monoxide is a very good fuel cell fuel. So it does work. It does work. It has been running, does work, running from 1980s. This is a very recent one. And again, a very big, what you call, reduction in pollution. Now, like, wait a minute, you're converting coal. How the heck? I'll explain that further. That's the good part. Again, it does not eliminate pollution. It reduces it. Even the carbon footprint goes down. So what can we expect in the future? Well, reality is we use so much coal in day-to-day life. It's wiser to be efficient with it. Like, what's the best thing to do? Thou shall not burn more coal than necessary. Okay, become more efficient. Great. Being less toxic is wise. Whether, like, I'm pretty sure most of the biosphere also does not like mercury. And I'm pretty sure sulfur is also not very loved in the air. NOx, although I'm not sure. There are a lot of organisms that loves NOx for some reason. So fundamentally, these things are wiser. Like, if you have to deal with this, do it cleanly. And India imports few things. This is the problematic part. That is why we are only $4 trillion. Ammonia, methanol, LNG, metallurgical coal. That's why that company worked their ass off. They're like, okay, we cannot do that. And we burn through $30 billion in imports annually. That's painful. And be mindful, it's going to cripple us if this lifeline ever gets cut. Does not matter whether you're buying from Australia or somewhere. Basically, it can be cut. And why we are buying it? Why we are buying metallurgical coal? We have coal, infinite coal. And yes, I'm not saying that verbously. Most likely, India has world's largest coal deposits, accessible coal deposit. So it is there. So fundamentally, in the recent bitch slap from Strait of Hormuz, government made it a priority. So around give or take $4 billion is being allocated to turbocharge this part up. It's like, let's get it going. It took us a bit long because again, I'm not comparing with other Western nation, but I am comparing with South Africa. Again, we have infinite coal. We should have sorted this out, but better late than never. And the idea is, even from a renewable point of view, this actually solves one of the problem. If you have so much coal and you are using so much into power plant, having a power plant that can throttle is a desirable thing. Normal coal power plant does not throttle that well, meaning you can like 100%, they are very efficient. Basically, ton of coal versus kilowatt of power is great, but here's the deal. In during daytime in India, the power demand is going very low. Solar, we have infinite solar. So at that point in time, coal power plants are like, we can't stop it, because if you stop it, it takes hours or if not days to start it up again. So you have to keep spooling it, and there lies the problem. If you tone it down that much, it's not efficient. It has a band, like some amount of overpower, some amount of underpower. It can like, I got this, I can tank this. But if you go too low, it's like, no, you are just burning coal at that point in time. So in this sort of gasification plant, you have a throttle vector where it's like, oh, during daytime, I'm just going to keep the plant running so it does not shut off. And I have grid inertia, great for solar. And that's there. But most of the chemical oomph is going into chemical output. I'm going to get paraffins out of it. I'm going to get basically plastics out of it, ammonia out of it, methane out, whatever you need. We're going to cook those puppies. Oh, at night time when sun goes down, voila, you can switch it. Again, throttle this down and ramp this up. So this balancing act, day or night cycle, is desired. Again, we're gonna mine coal anyway. We're gonna pay for metallurgical coal anyway. And doing this locally, it's far more efficient, because again, you are removing the shipping cost from shipping from Australia or shipping from anywhere. That's a desirable thing, lower pollution footprint. So fundamentally, it is a desirable thing. The more of these things we make in-house, the less pollution it creates and more independence it gives us. So it's better in all regards. Although I'm a bit shocked like how late we are to some things, and some things we are damn fast. Like internet, only South Korea can beat us. Like we are good with internet. Like I have fiber optic for years, high speed. Like India does not need Starlink. Again, there are some remote location that will benefit from it, but it's not a necessary thing for us. Like we good, sir. We got this. Most of the places have like direct fiber to home for years at this point in time, and multiple provider, not just one company, multiple provider. Some things we are good. Some things are like, we should have done this in 1980 or 1990 or 2008 market crisis. We waited too long. We had to wait for this Iran bitch slap. So this was my presentation on coal gasification. Hopefully you have liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst your friends. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show me extra disappointment. Please leave a comment because I do try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free. And as always, thanks for watching.